For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my iniquity, for it is great. Who is the man who fears the Lord? He will instruct him in the way he should choose. His soul will abide it in prosperity, and his descendants will inherit the land. The secret of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he will make them know his covenant. My eyes are continually toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distresses. Look upon my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins. Look upon my enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with violent hatred. Guard my soul and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. May the good Lord bless us upon the reading of his word. We all regularly face crossroads of conflicts, crises, and challenging circumstances. The speed and number of changes and decisions points seem to be increasing rapidly, leaving us a bit disoriented, which can easily lead us to disillusionment or despair. There are times to take pause on the path in order to reorient ourselves on what is true and hopefully gain the resolve to walk the path before us with clarity and confidence. Where do we look for guidance and grace on the path? If you just look at Psalm 25, we can see how David expresses through prayer that he makes seeking the Lord his priority in life, desiring to gain the love to seek the Lord, his security and protection, and also refuge, and to follow in God's ways. If you just read verses 1 to 2, David truly relies on and puts his trust in God. Even when he faces crossroads in life, like the threats he received from King Saul, who wants to kill him, or when his son Absalom also wants to kill him, and he doesn't know where to run as enemies seek him out, and he faces trials and struggles in his life. But he learns to humble himself and commit his life to God. So he asks for God's guidance and protection from his enemies, because he knows he cannot face this battle in his life alone. But he always puts his trust in God. We also go through torment and difficulties in life, and we struggle to pray. So we don't rest, but learn to call on the name of God, humble ourselves, and ask for his help completely. Instead of running to God, we make our own decisions and directions and speak for ourselves, which burdens us, but we don't realize it. If we just learn to depend on God and let him manage our lives, we won't experience difficulties because we put our trust in him completely. Even though David may have failed with the Lord, and how bad he may have appeared in the eyes of God, he always asked for God's forgiveness in his life. So he assured his trust in God in those circumstances and guilt that he cannot overcome in his life. So before we recognize and doubt these situations, if we lost our way, we should ask ourselves, where is our trust? That's where we begin to humble ourselves before the Lord, to learn, to trust, and acknowledge Him in prayer. These fears, troubles, anxieties, shame, guilt, and doubts need to be overcome by us. We need to clear our obstacles in life. So we need to totally surrender to God's leading in our lives, because He is our salvation in our lives. Even what is spoken in the verse, we need to learn to wait, because that's what we need to do. It's very tormenting to do so. It's very short of our patience. We want it immediately. But God speaks to us to wait. While we're in the middle of the road, we must be constant and hold on to our patience, because with God is our hope in all solutions to our problems, just like David totally puts his trust and hope in God. If you look at verses 4 and 5, David asked the Lord to show him the right path and direction, and to guide him so he won't stray into false paths and live his life rightly with God, because David knows it, or knows his decisions will greatly affect him, and if he makes bad decisions, there won't be good results and no good choices and decisions. Everything will fail him. So he asked for God to teach him, correct his path, and to live in truth. We also make our own decisions, and that's why we lose our way. We make our own way the wrong way. That's why, just as Jesus speaks, if we go to the wrong way, we lead or will be led to destruction until we are